Hello friends, welcome to CareersTalk. I'm Sunil Sharma, an agile consultant based in Netherlands. And as you might have saw in the thumbnail, today we have a real mock interview with a candidate. Now, Tia, she worked for one of the survey-based company and she's having 13 years of total IT experience. And if you also want to test your knowledge and experience the pressure of a real interview, you can connect with me. We offer both free and a paid option. For paid option, you can book a call using the TopMate link in our description. For free option, you can email me or reach out on a LinkedIn. We can also do this kind of session. And before we begin, if you're new here, please subscribe to our channel. We have tons of valuable information for our Scrum Masters. We share a lot of content on Agile, Scrum and all. And if you enjoy this session, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. Welcome, Tia. How are you doing today?
Hi, Sana. I'm doing well. How are you today?
Great. Yes, I'm great. Okay, Tia. So I have your resume with me. So why don't you tell me about yourself and try to focus your experience more on a Scrum Master?
Sure. So, I'm a certified Scrum Master with 5 years of experience leading and facilitating team with the Agile methodology. Overall, I have 13 years of work experience, as you have already mentioned. So in these 13 years, I have a strong background in, customer sales, customer success. So initial year was something wherein I identified what my skills are, and those were more aligned with agile principles and values. So then I started taking more interest, and then with the last company that I worked with prior to this one, gave me an opportunity to share my knowledge and how we can adopt and transform and how we can go ahead and achieve success using agile methodology. So that's where my career started. That's where my interest towards agile and the scrum framework started. And since then I think I'm growing and growing only. It's very vast, and I think even 5 years seems very less for me to say that I've mastered it all. So
Okay,
I've not. Yeah.
great. So you mentioned about one word, methodology, just now. What is it? What do you mean by methodology?
So basically, agile is a methodology that under which we have a lot of frameworks. So that allows us to go ahead and inspect, adapt, and apply something that's gonna work for you in your real time scenario, whatever project you're working on. So Scrum is what I have been mostly working on. Scrum is something that I have used for these 5 years, I would say. And the other methodology, I do not have much hands on it. However, I'm aware about there are certain more like lean and Kanban, safe agile. With safe agile, also I've attended 3 days workshop, I would say, so that I have little bit insights on how the safe agile works, and still waiting for an opportunity wherein I can go ahead and implement all these frameworks.
Yeah, but then what is a methodology and what is a framework? That's the question.
So agile, I would say, is a methodology. It's a mindset, and when to apply and what framework you want to apply. Like Scrum is a lightweight framework that allows us to go ahead and deliver smaller chunks, like we can say iteration. So it's not something that we have it all planned just like the traditional method. It's like in a smaller chunk we are giving values to our clients and taking feedback at a regular interval.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Absolutely no, for sure. But
Okay.
let's move on. Okay. Okay. So, what's your current team size?
We're 10. That includes one BA, PO, Scrum, and then five developers, two testers.
BA, PO,
Yeah.
5 developers, 2 testers.
Yeah.
1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you. So 10.
Yes.
Okay. So, what do you do capacity planning? Like how you do your capacity planning with these team members?
So how we do the capacity planning is basically it's based on the availability of the team members. We keep our weekends out of the capacity planning. Then
So you include all these 9 team members, like your
no.
BO, PO, 5 dev, and 2 testers.
So PU is not part of the capacity planning. We don't include PU in the capacity planning.
Okay.
It is majorly done for the developers and the testers. BA also, because there are like a lot of responsibilities that he shares. So
Like,
basically, what we do is we keep our weekends out. Then, out of the 8 working hours, we try to keep
what
two
are
hours.
the responsibilities of your BA? You just mentioned, right? So what sort of work your BA is doing, where he or she is utilizing the capacity?
Sorry, your question is what are the responsibilities of the BA in my
Yeah.
team?
So you mentioned that, right? That BA, developer, and then testers have
Yes.
the capacity, right? So
Mhm.
where your BA is utilizing your capacity? What are the different things which he or she is working in your project?
So basically, they are being utilized if we need for, first is the requirement gathering in terms of, a high level or any kind of a functional requirement that we need from them. Second is user stories are written by them to, convey what is the ask from the client to the developers, to the development team, I would say. So that's how he is being utilized.
So then what PO is doing if your BA is writing the user stories?
So
What your
PO does not write the user story in our team. They are just to see the overall how the product is going. He helps us with the refinement, I would say, but yes, he's not writing the user story in our team. It's done by the BA.
Tell me about your project. What exactly you guys are building? What is your product goal?
So the project that we are working on the healthcare. So it's divided into multiple parts and segments, I would say. One is about the upgradation of the current application.
No, I'm asking what is your product goal?
So product goal is successful implementation of the application. That is our product goal. That minimum error should be there. And
Are you sure, or you are just making up?
no. We are working on that. No making it
This
up.
this this cannot be your product goal for sure. Successful. What you just mentioned?
So successful
Successful
implementation.
implementation of applications. Huh? This is
Yes.
your product goal.
Yes.
That's what I'm telling. This cannot be your product goal. That's why
Okay.
I'm asking that you just made up this. This cannot be your product goal. Okay, what is a product goal? Let me ask you this.
Product goal is something that whatever we are working on and what the expectation is out of that product. So let's say I am building, for example, let's say a client wants me to fly mobile. It's just an example, weird one. So my product goal will be to probably have a drone attached and make it fly. So that is the way I understand it.
Sorry, what is your sorry? Can you give me the example again?
Successful outcome of what the requirements were
No,
for the
The
project.
example which you just mentioned on the drone. That's
I
what
was
I'm
trying.
asking.
It was a weird one I picked up. It was just like flying a mobile using a drone. So that is my goal. The client wants it to fly. I will have to fly it, and how I do it is by adding it to a drone. So that's how I picture it.
Okay, which is your current sprint number?
Okay. So this one is the fourth one.
Fourth one, fourth sprint.
Yes.
It means it just started.
We did not just started.
Hmm.
Uh, this is the fourth sprint. So we are in middle. The total one was six. It was supposed to be six. Sixth one is for buffer. And the total we estimated it to be first, second, and third sprints
Wait,
are
wait,
done.
wait, 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 wait. What's happening? So, what's the duration of this project which you are working?
The duration of this one is we like in us to cover all the requirements and everything. We have kept it as total number of sprint will be 5, and each sprint is 2 weeks.
What's the duration of this project? Let me ask you again. So, you are telling me that the duration of your project is 5 weeks.
No. Like I initially mentioned, that
Hmm.
this is something wherein, these comes in bits and pieces. So right now, what we are doing is we are working on the upgrades. So duration of the upgrade project is 5 weeks, 5 sprints. Sorry. After that, we'll have some other thing come up. So it's like that.
I think I'm lost. So you, in your resume, you mentioned that you are working from last 2022 since now. What
Hmm.
exactly you are working from last 3 years?
So okay. This healthcare has over 500 applications. Now each application has different requirement and different sort of. It's kind of, I can say that, like I'm sure you are aware of the upgrades, how these things are done.
No,
Mostly
I'm
we
not.
do.
I'm not
Okay,
aware.
so basically, let's say somebody is on a let me take an example of a application packs or something like that. It's
Mhm.
on a version 2 dot something, and then we
Okay.
need to upgrade it. So that will not be upgraded right then and there. So there are prerequisites, there are, compatibility that we check, and then we break it down further into sprints, that in this sprint this client and this is what we are going to do. So that's how we break it down.
So, so if everything is fixed, then why you need this Scrum? Everything is
No.
fixed. You already know that you have 500 plus applications. You already know
Right.
that within a, let's say, 1 month or 2 months, you are supposed to deploy these many applications. You have to upgrade these many applications, right? Then why we need this Scrum and all?
So, though
What's the
we
use?
know that, it's
Mm.
not something very complicated ask, or we cannot say that, the requirements will keep on changing. However, the reason we have implemented Agile in this healthcare project also, because again, it allows us to get the real time feedback from the client. So, it is not like how we used to do
What feedback
earlier.
you have upgraded? You will put it. What kind of feedback you are looking for from a client? Tell me, like, what
No.
actually happened in the in your um yeah demos and all.
Okay, so basically, like, let's say that, at the time of the demos that we are giving, so it is not just the upgrade that we do. There are, compatibility things that we talk about. So let's say for some reason we are not able to proceed as planned, that's also where we can go ahead and check, and then not check, actually we present this to the client and the stakeholders and explain them that why we are not able to complete this within the time, why it will, be pushed further, or, xyz things, whatever we have come across so far. Then the client may just give us their input, that whether they are okay with it or not. Then versions, like let's say that right now we have 2.0, and there were certain features that they were expecting in the application, which is going to be out after a week or maybe a month. That totally depends on the current circumstances. So that's where we can just take those ideas and implement it further, like that.
But that actually your product owner is supposed to do all these things, right?
So
Anyway,
basically, I
so
was giving you the idea of what is happening. So yes, product owner definitely leads the meeting. He definitely gauges their
okay, no problem.
requirement.
No, let's not get into it. I got it. Okay, it's okay. Let's move on. So you mentioned about that coaches team on agile best practices increase overall sprint velocity by 30%. What is your current team velocity?
It's 40 right now.
What is 40?
The velocity that you asked.
Yeah, but then 40 means what?
The average
What
story.
that 40 is going to tell me? If I'm, let's say I'm not
Hmm.
aware about your project,
Hmm.
what I can derive from this 40?
So basically, this is the average story points that the team has covered during the sprints.
And what is story point?
Story point is basically, the story points are basically given based on the efforts, complexities, and time that it will take. So that's how we give the story points for each work, how much time, or how much effort is required from our end, and how much complex the thing is. So that ways,
Okay.
that is the story point.
So this 40 means your 10 team members team, they are able to finish 4 story points worth, or let's say 4.5 story points of worth of uh, story points in every sprint, right?
So we are not taking 10, we are only taking 7 in this.
What, 7?
7 people. It's not 10 into 4. We are not doing that.
Okay, so 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7.
Yeah.
So okay, let's say 6, right?
7.
Let's say 6, 6, yes, 6, 6 are 30, 6, 6, 6, 7, 42. So let's assume 42,
Hmm.
not 40. Okay. And what is your previous velocity? I mean, so 40 is your average for this current
Yeah.
sprint. What about the previous one?
So again, this is from the historical data only, and because the
So
kind of
idea is
work,
whether it's increasing, it's decreasing, or it's stable. That's the question.
so it is currently stable.
Stable.
Yeah.
Okay. And how you have increased this velocity by 30%? You mentioned it, right? So how it can be stable? It has to be increased by 30%.
Oh, I thought you were asking about the current one. I didn't mean
No,
that.
current is okay, but then you
Huh.
also mentioned, right, that it's increased overall sprint velocity by 30%. So how? That's the question.
Okay, so basically, when I joined in, the project was already, I mean, they were ahead in the project line. So initially, what the team was doing was they were not like, very vocal about estimations, I would say, or they were not interactive. The backlog refinements were, one person leading and others are just saying yes and stuff like that. So when I started with the team, I just happened to, obviously before we start with any kind of a refinement or anything, whether it's a new team or an old team, I like to set the agenda. I like to inform them what backlog refinement is, what is the expectation from us. Sorry, yeah, from us, and how we're gonna go ahead and estimate things. Whether are we using the invest criteria or not? Whether we are slicing it enough. So these are the kind of things wherein I helped the team, because earlier obviously they were not interactive. So anything that was given, they would just agree. So they were kind of avoiding more. I mean, I would say that it's like more of a listening job rather than being able to express. So whatever number has been, let's say, decided by a senior developer, the team would go ahead with that. So at times they would not be they will not be able to achieve. At times they will have those items pulled in, and they may have given an overestimation, or the proper story splitting was not being done. So these are few initiatives I took, and made sure that the team understand what is the how do we have to split the stories, and how they understand the definition of ready, and they know that how we have to use the invest criteria. So these are basic things which just needed a little bit of brushing up, I would say, and that's how I enhance the.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. So tell me an example of a user story from your current project which meet the invest criteria. Show me that, okay, how this is meeting INVEST. Give me an example of a user story.
Sure. Just 1 second, I'm just thinking about it. so so
You're typing something
no, I'm not typing anything.
on Google.
No, why would I Google it? I'm just trying to think of a story that I can give you real time right now.
Anything
Uh,
else, so is okay. Just make something easy which I can understand.
okay. Um. So
So as a user, I want to log in. Let's say it's a Gmail account. Okay.
yeah.
So that's a user story. So as a user, I want to log in so that I can able to purchase some product,
Hmm.
right? So that's a, let's say this is a rough user story which I have created for you,
Okay.
right? You can modify it according to your need. Now tell me in this, how this invest criteria, whether this user story, have
Is dependent on something or not.
is have invest criteria or not. So what is your take, and how you're going to decentralize this user story if needed?
So you said the story is, as a user, I want to log in so that
I
you can
can
do.
I can able to purchase a book, for example, from Amazon.
Okay. So as a user, I want to purchase. I want to log in. Okay. So now here I can say that it will not possibly pass the invest criteria. If I were you, I will specify it further. Like, as a user, I want to log in using an email. That is where I'm specifying it, because login itself is a,
Tell me. Okay, so tell me what is independent in this user story. So give me the proper user story. Okay, I just
yeah.
give you an example.
Hmm.
Okay, now make it a proper user story which fulfill the invest criteria. That's a question.
Okay. So as a user, I want to log in using my email address, so that I can log in, and so that I can log into Amazon. One, this will meet the invest criteria if I have my login page already created.
So now tell me in this, what is independent, what is negotiable, what is valuable, what is estimable, and what is S is for what?
Testable.
Okay,
What did you
small
say?
and testable. Okay, so tell me like how it met. Tell me now. You have to dissect this user story and tell me that okay, it means this is independent, this is valuable. Tell me.
So independent is when a story is not dependent on other story for it to get completed.
Okay, so your user story is not dependent.
It is dependent. I said that provided we already have the page created. So it will be dependent right now. So, but I'm assuming that it's not there.
So make it a user story which 100% align with your invest criteria. That's what I'm asking.
Okay, let me.
Change it. Change it.
Okay. Um, Something that will not be independent will be like a login page, I would say.
Tell me exact user story.
I think we can park that for my feedback part. Maybe I don't know how to put it
Okay,
across.
that's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, move on. So what is your current product backlog size?
Current product backlog size. Like in numbers, you're saying?
I don't know. How do I know your product
It's
backlog
around
size?
30.
30 is what?
The items that we have in the backlog.
So 30 item is a product backlog size.
Yeah, it's the item in the product backlog. So that I assume is the product backlog size.
You're assuming, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned something interesting in your resume. So what do you mean by this? Spread-headed agile ceremonies. So what are the different ceremonies you have? Then you mentioned daily stand-up, sprint planning, review, retrospective. So what are
Yeah.
these agile ceremonies?
The ceremonies basically it's the sprint planning, the daily scrum meetings, sprint review, and the sprint retrospective. These are the ceremonies.
So you have not mentioned the refinement over here. Why?
Sorry.
You have not mentioned the sprint refinement over here. Why? It's not
So
a
that is not
event.
a, yeah, it's not a this thing.
Why?
Ceremony. It's not one of the events.
No. Then what is it?
It's an activity. It's a time box activity that we do. It
It's
does not.
activity.
Yeah, it is.
It's an activity. It's not an event. Huh?
No, it's not an event.
Okay. So when you do this activity in your project, so you have 2 weeks sprint, right? When you do this activity in your project.
So before we do the sprint planning, we do the backlog refinement and ensure that, like I mentioned earlier, that we are slicing it well, we are meeting the criteria, and everything is there. And then
What's
we have,
the what's the purpose of this refinement?
what is the purpose of the backlog refinement?
Yeah, product backlog refinement.
So basically, the purpose of the backlog refinement will be to have, break your things into a granular molecular, the smallest possible stories, I would say, so that, it's easy and manageable for the team to deliver within the sprint time, and understand if there is any issue, sorry, if people have different views on it. So that is why we do the refinement.
Okay. And what's the output of this refinement?
The product, sorry, the sprint backlog, I would say. The
Sprint
output, you
backlog is,
said, right?
yeah, output of this activity.
Output of this activity will be, we'll have our, stories ready for the first sprint.
First sprint.
Yeah, for the sprint.
Okay. And you mentioned define and optimize agile KPIs. Right. So what's the difference between KPI and matrices?
Okay, so KPI is your key performance indicators, I would say. And metrics is also somewhat on the same line only, as per
Same
my
line.
understanding.
Then why we have two different words?
Uh,
There might be some difference, right?
there definitely will be a difference.
Hmm.
So, I
You
mean,
mentioned agile KPIs. Give me an example of agile KPIs.
so KPIs will be your velocity,
Velocity is
your,
a KPI? Are you sure?
yeah, I mean, metrics. So I
You're
am
not sure.
confused between these two terms, KPI
Hmm.
and the metrics. Maybe you can help me later on with this, but I feel that, this velocity, sprint down, burn down, burn up.
All
These
are
are all.
KPIs.
So I am confused between metrics and KPI, I would say, because these are the things that help us derive.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. All KPIs are matrices, but not all matrices are KPIs.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Let's move on. Uh, okay, no issues. Okay, let me ask you something simple. So tell me, like, okay, what is burn down chart and what is burn up chart?
Okay, so burn down chart is a, graphical representation wherein it shows us how much work has been, how much work is remaining, and it is specific to the sprint. And burn up is how much work we have completed.
So what's the difference? Both are same thing. Something which is
Um,
left and something which is completed.
Right, in a way, if you want to say it up like that, we can, because both are representing how much is left and how much is completed. However, I feel that the difference between burn down and burn up is, burn down is specific to the sprint, and burn up is something wherein it is not, it can be on a project, sorry, it is on a project level, I would say. And burn
What is
down
project
is,
level?
as in the whole sprints can come in, and in the burn down we can do it in the days, so that will be specific to one sprint, how much work is remaining in one sprint, like that.
Okay. So there is no difference in that way.
I mean, it's just how it shows. One is showing you how much stairs you have already completed in order to
Okay, okay, understood. Okay.
yeah.
So this is your x axis, this is your y axis, and your burn down chart is like this, flat.
Right.
So what information you can derive from this?
So, if it's a flat line, it will. I mean, it basically is not make the team is not making any progress. So either it's like we are not doing anything there, or it could be that we are not following transparency. Either the work is being done but is not being updated, So these are the two things I can figure out from this.
Okay. And what if there is a straight line and then there is a complete drop?
Straight line and complete drop.
Yeah, like this. Before even, so it's a 2 week sprint, but then let's say 1 week is a straight and then it's drop. So your 1 week is still remaining.
So it would indicate that we didn't do 1 week is straight, right? So it would indicate that we didn't do anything for that particular sprint, and then
Hmm.
suddenly, if it is going down, then we have completed somehow all the work. So that's not the right way to do it, I would say.
Okay. And if there is any additional work in my sprint
Hmm.
during the ongoing sprint, so how you can look into your burn down chart and you can derive that, like whether your line will be like below, under, above, what is going to happen, the burn
Extra
down chart.
work,
Yeah,
like
so
a
let's
new
say,
story has been added, like
yeah,
that.
correct, yes, like that.
So, new work.
Yeah.
The Then I think it will just there will be a uh, I don't know the word how to what to say, but it will go up probably if a new work is added.
Okay,
But we don't usually add that, but it's okay.
it's okay. Okay, you mentioned about connected agile coaching workshop. Which kind of workshop you have conducted?
So basically, we do this, knowledge sharing session, I can say, wherein we try to focus, enlighten or focus on why we need this. What are we gonna get out of practicing agile? Because not everybody understands, or not everybody feels that there is a need to change on how in how we work. So that it's kind of a knowledge sharing session that we do, wherein I explain the team the benefits of agile and why it is important, how it aligns well with the project or product goal, and how it keeps our how it delivers quality to the clients, and how it benefits us in a long term. So these are the basic knowledge sharing session that we do. And if somebody is extremely resistant, not everybody is up for the change, so then I take one on one also with them to understand where they're coming from, why they are like this, why their thought process are
Okay,
not.
tell me some. Okay, wait. So tell me some agile coaching techniques. Whatever you mentioned is a kind of normal teaching session, training session. How it different from your workshop?
So
Okay.
coaching is
Hmm.
basically, I mean, how I do it is I obviously, I start by asking powerful questions, wherein help the team, not giving help an individual, not giving the answers, but helping them helping them find their own answers. So I use a model called growth model for the coaching session specifically. So that's the kind of exercise we do.
Okay. Can you tell me like what's the difference between, with the help of an example, a mentor, a coach, a facilitator?
Okay. So as per my understanding, like I said, coach is someone who will help you find your own answers and will not give you the answers, and will guide you towards the resolution. And mentor is something like, let's say I'll give your example only in this case. You have been an excellent agile coach for so long, and you have done it, you have practiced it, and you have executed it, and you have delivered some exceptional uh, products, I can say. Sorry for that product world, but many people have benefited out of it. So mentoring is something wherein I have done that, been there, done that, executed it, benefited out of it, and I'm able to, share my learning with the other person. That's where I'll say mentor mentee relation.
And what facilitator do?
Facilitator is something I would say different than mentoring and coaching, because facilitation is like it's kind of facilitation wherein you get people on board, and you ensure that everybody is able to voice out their opinion. Everybody has that psychological safety, I would say, and they are able to express without any fear. So that is facilitation as per me.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned about, so tell me like how you are going to measure the success of a agile transformation in your organization.
How will I measure the success of the?
Agile transformation.
So I can again by going back to basics, I can see the velocity. I can check the burn down, burn up, how the team is, what are how we are delivering, whether we are delivering quality stuff or not, whether uh, uh, how do I measure the success? Sorry. Um, then yeah, I mean, if there is a minimum spillover, I would say, if we are delivering workable software or not, and yeah, everybody is healthy enough, everybody is motivated enough, and these are the ways I can choose to assess agile, like a happy team, I would say.
Okay. So T, I think I'm good. I have taken few notes. We'll discuss after this call. Okay. So thank you for joining this session, and whoever is watching it, friends, I hope tell us in the comment box what you think about whether you're going to select T or not. What is your inputs? How she could have done better? We really love to see your comments, your feedback, right? So yeah, with this, let me close this session. And if you'd like to come as a guest, you can always, you're always welcome, you guys over here. So yes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and take care. See you in the next session. Tia, before we close, what is your take? We're going to discuss, of course, but what do you think about the last 30 minutes? What is your
I
take? Like,
think
if you are an interviewer, what do you think about this candidate? What is your opinion?
I don't know what to say, because being on the other side definitely matters, and yeah, maybe I
Mhm.
can take some keynotes post this, but I don't know how I did, hence I needed
Okay,
some.
I'll tell you a lot of things. There are a lot of areas where you have to work on. Okay,
Okay,
so no problem. Let me close this call, and let's connect after this. Okay.
sure.
Give me